It's that time of the week again, guys, where I like to go through and review the Forex pair pound yen just to see what it did during the week and what it could do potentially moving forward. I hope you've all had a great week and you've been profitable and actually implemented some of the things which I've spoken to you about in previous videos, where I like to try and help you guys kind of get a better understanding for what's actually happening in the markets and how you can use this information and develop skills to become a more successful trader long term. As you know, guys, my name is David, Millionaire Incorporated, and I created this channel to go over personal finance, wealth creation, personal development, and also crypto, as well as that, obviously, the Forex market. So let's dive into this video this week. So as I've been saying in the past couple of videos, I've been leaving the arrows up from last week's videos to kind of see how it actually played out to what I was thinking it was going to do, to how it actually responded. Now, in saying that, when I actually draw these arrows, it's not necessarily going to do anything which I actually predict. It opens, it closes at all kinds of areas. And I'm just kind of making basic predictions of what it could potentially do before it actually does something. So, as I said last week, I was thinking it was going to come down to this yellow zone here. I'll actually get into this, why I thought this was a zone here, before moving higher, or for a retrace before coming lower. Now, as you can see, didn't quite follow that trade plan at all. So what we did, we closed last week on this red candle here, quite bearish, just below this 154, 151.50 area, and just above this zone, which I drew here. Now, that's actually a zone I drew on the daily, and you can see that right there, where price kind of came down, held before moving higher, before coming back down again. So you can see that impulse, correction, impulse, and potentially it's going through its correction phase right now. So I'll jump back down to the 4 hours so we can actually see what actually happened. So as I was saying, the pair opened up just here, came down. Now, you saw me drawing this area, this zone here on the daily at the base of that candle, but in actual fact, it actually came down lower, and you could have actually zoomed into on a lower time frame to this 4 hour area just here, and that would have been the zone to actually look for to trade from. So I was kind of a little bit off with that. That's something which I got to kind of work on myself as well, something you got to look at yourself as well. And sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes the pair will actually work off that daily zone. Other times the pair will actually work off the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30, whatever zone. So you've got to kind of be aware. You always got to kind of be flexible with your potential trade setups, because even though it might react off one specific area, it could be a fake out, it could move lower, it could be working off another time frame before making its actual move. So I'll actually delete these now, so I won't need that. I'll actually hold these ones here though. So yeah, as you can see, open, came literally straight down, paused for a moment right before this zone, which could have potentially been an exhaustion on that daily zone. But as you can see, it just kind of kept going. So then it had a clear break of that zone here before on the 1 hour. I'll jump down to the 1 hour because you'll see this a bit more clearly on the 1 hour. Before it came up and retested that zone there. Now, you could have either taken it on that retest, or as it respected that zone and rejected it with this 1 hour candle here. So let's see if there's a clearer area we could have taken that trade from on the 30 minute or 15 potentially. Now, I don't necessarily like jumping down to the 15-minute time frame. That's where it starts getting quite messy. So there's no real kind of cleaner area to kind of trade from on that 15-minute time frame or 30-minute time frame. But if you look closely, after it came up, so it broke through, came back up, tested that, respected. A couple candles later, this one right here, I'll actually zoom in a bit more. You can actually see this a bit more clearly. So it kind of came back up a bit and retested the this kind of structure just here on this part here. So kind of came up, broke below, came back up, kind of tested, and then went lower. So that potentially would have been an area to kind of take a trade from on the 15-minute time frame. So I'll actually just draw that in there from this candle. I'll enter my figures straight away. So as we know, 80 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss. Okay. And you can see quite easily it almost went straight down to that take profit quite easily. Now let's jump back to the 1 hour there. And let's look at what it actually did. So yeah, basically on the end of that 1 hour, close of that 1 hour candle there, you could have actually taken that trade after it respected that zone. So that would have been your first trade for the week. Now remember, when taking trades and looking for take profit areas, you want to be looking for areas of support or resistance or zones which it actually worked off from before. Now I do have a few zones marked up, and I'll actually zoom out and actually show you why I chose those zones and why I have those zones drawn in. So, okay, sweet. So go back over this way. So this was kind of one of the areas where I was kind of watching for potential area of support or resistance. So you can see they kind of found a bit of support here. Then it came back down to this zone here, and that's probably the better support to actually look for. So I'll jump up to that daily. So what that price was at 150 pretty much, 149.50, 60. Let's go to the daily. Okay, one moment. Let's just kind of zoom in there. So 151.60, which is actually this zone. I think it's this zone here. One completely wrong area. So here it was. So you can see it was at the break of that daily zone. So that's what I was saying before, how sometimes the zones will work off a daily, sometimes other times will work off a 4 hourly. So you just got to kind of be kind of prepared to kind of look for areas and zones where it could actually work from. So as I said, I've got a few zones drawn in here. So as you can see, you had the impulse correction, held support there on the daily, impulse correction, support there on the daily, impulse correction, support there on the daily. So those are the major areas I was kind of looking at for price to kind of work off. Now let's jump back down to the 4 hour and actually see what it actually did. So after it broke this area, just this zone just here, it kept coming lower, tested that first zone just there, and kind of held it. Looked like it was going to actually exhaust and potentially move higher. So you could have actually taken a trade from that. It wouldn't have been a bad trade to take. It was a strong area of support. Unfortunately, though, you can actually see already that it didn't actually kind of play out. So this is why you always want to use your risk management and have stop losses set in place. So same thing as always, 40 pip stop loss, 80 pip take profit, and I don't need to show you or explain, that was going to be a loss, unfortunately. So if you had a tighter kind of take profit zone of like 40 pips, or just that other area where I was saying that one pretty much 150 area, it kind of respected that before coming lower. So that would have potentially even been a take profit there for you. Let's go to the 1 hour and actually see if we could have taken a trade there on the 1 hour. So you could have potentially made that even a tighter stop loss of just below there. So just below the lows just here, and a take profit of that 150 area there, and that would have given you just over 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. Then as you can see afterwards, price kind of just faked out or respected this area, then kind of dropped all the way down to that lower zone, which I was showing you earlier on, but found support there. So this one actually found support. You could have actually taken a trade off this area just here higher. So let's go there. 80 pip take profit. You know the drill, guys. and bang. As you can see, easy trade. But I actually didn't take that trade. You can actually see this one, which I left here at the when I opened the chart. That was actually a trade I took. So I only actually took really one trade this week, which I felt quite confident with. Actually move this across here because you can see that after it kind of faked out from this area here, or this one here, and this one here, it kind of went sideways for a little bit before actually taking off. It actually found support is in this area before moving high. You can actually say it even kind of created like a bit of a head and shoulders. So it kind of came, created the left shoulder, found the neckline, created the head, the second neckline, then the shoulder before moving higher. So I'll actually you can actually have taken a trade from that, from the base of, from this one just here again. I'll quickly enter the numbers. And bada bing, bada boom, you got that there. I hope someone comments that in the comment section afterwards. So yeah, so as you can see, the price kind of kept moving higher. Now, you could have taken it up to the next areas of support resistance. That would have been one either just here, but that would have been a pretty weak one. Or basically this area just here. And that would have given you a much larger risk reward, giving you that almost 3 to 1. But as I said, I actually took this trade just here, and I'll go into it why I actually took it. I'm just going to delete this for now. So I waited for it to actually break above this area just here. So I'll actually draw in a little kind of zone just here. So you can see it kind of came up. This was like that neckline which I was talking to you about. A few rejections in this area, so it was a pretty reasonable area to look for. So I wanted to wait for it to actually break above that area, that zone there. So as you can see, finally broke above, came back down, tested, and then I took the trade there. So I actually took it after it broke kind of straight away on the close of that hourly candle there. 80 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss, and it went literally to that zone to a T before moving higher. And then you can see it actually broke through that zone again, tested, and then kept moving higher again. So it was actually a pretty decent week for trading. Like there was quite a few opportunities to take trades, and you could have being quite profitable with this. There was a major move down before it actually retraced, respected, and moved higher again. And that's one thing I'm saying with GJ. It actually does move quite quickly. And not just that it moves quickly, that it actually also moves with has large moves. So it's not like a 40 pip move. It's sometimes usually 100 pips within a couple of hours. So let's actually go to where the week opened. Just on this candle, just here it is. So I'll actually count how many pips it moved all the way to the downside. So it moved to the downside just over 300 pips. And from the upside of that candle there, it actually moved another 63. So that's 363 pips it moved in total. And within the first day, it pretty much moved 200 pips. So that's a lot of pips to catch if you can master the skill and exhibit patience and discipline. Something which I'm still working on personally because it isn't something which is easy to master. I have a full-time job. I don't get to sit on the charts all day, every day, and actually analyze things. I got to kind of take it as it comes, and sometimes I just kind of wait for like midweek until after kind of things have settled down. Like usually at the start of the week, you get an impulse in one direction, then your retracement, then it actually makes it its proper move for the rest of the week. But yeah, so you could, like I said, I've shown. So it's one. That would have been a loss. So that would have cancelled that out. 1, 2, 3 potential trades this week at 2 to 1, 2% risk reward. That's 12% return this week. So that would have been a decent return for you for this trading week. So that's what happened this week. Let's now delete all this and actually see what potentially could actually happen during the week, and how it actually finished. So The week actually finished pretty bullish on the higher time frames. So you can see there on the weekly, I actually delete these now again. So I won't need that. Actually, I'm going to leave that one candle, that one arrow just there. So you can see, kind of created that pin bar rejection on the weekly time frame at this level just here. So potentially it might hold this area here and get that movement higher, which I was talking about the other week, because we are, as I said, overall still bullish. So it could actually move to the upside quite a significant move higher. It might also depend on what the sentiment is coming out of Britain at the moment or Japan, especially with the Olympics. Coronavirus cases kind of spiking back up in a few areas. The fact that I think Britain's opening up again, from what I last heard, is seen as a positive thing. So we could actually see that move higher. So, like I said, overall, high time frames moving higher, but it has actually kind of created a bit of a lower low now. So we've got that high, low, higher, higher, lower, low. We could potentially get even a lower high created now, like somewhere in this area here, before moving lower again, which is I've identified with this candle here, down to this actual trend line. So, so it's just going to be kind of watching price action to see how it plays out. On the daily, we actually did get a bit of kind of exhaustion at the end of that candle there, but as I've said before, candlestick analysis is sometimes not the best way to go about it. You can see it's actually kind of respected this area here on the daily area of this daily zone there, and that's one which is kind of played out from back here. So potentially we could get that move lower again, like from here down. One second. From here down to one of these kind of zones here again. So we could even see some sideways price action for a while until it kind of hits up this trend line, gets a bit more momentum in a certain direction, because now we are kind of flattening off at the top and potentially coming lower. I think I even said the other week we potentially could even be getting a head and shoulders pattern developed. So we've got the shoulder, we had the neckline just here, the head, so it could be coming up, creating us another shoulder just over here before moving lower. Price action, follow what the price is doing, keep a close eye on your zones, get better at drawing zones. Like I said, you could even say I need to kind of improve on that as well. But yes, that's what I'm looking for the week moving ahead. Let's actually draw those arrows in a bit more cleanly so we can actually see what's going to potentially happen. So I've got actually, as well as that, it's on my laptop, so I can actually see potentially coming back up to this area just here before moving lower, or it could actually respect this area here and come down before moving higher. But as we say, just wait and see what actually happens, and kind of play it by ear. So hope that's been useful for you guys. I didn't actually mention it at the start. Don't forget, if you liked this video and you watched it to this point, drop me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you actually think the pound yen would actually do during this week, or what you see it doing medium to long term. As well as that, if you're a new viewer, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, so you can join me on more videos coming up next weekend and things. Hope that's been helpful, and I'll catch you guys again next weekend. Cheers.